Find fishing spots by weather in summer. Precisely locate fish nests. Summer is a season with high water temperatures. When choosing a fishing spot, first, you need to focus on coolness, which means finding places with lower water temperature and higher dissolved oxygen. Second, you must be flexible. Because fish pursue suitable temperatures and oxygen levels, their activity ranges vary at different times of the day as water temperature conditions change. If weather conditions are taken into account, the changes in fish positions will be even greater. When selecting fishing spots in summer, don't simply fish in deep or shallow waters. Instead, you should learn to analyze which area the fish are actually in at that moment and be extremely flexible. 1. Basic steps. The so-called basic steps refer to the ideas for choosing fishing spots suitable for various weather conditions, such as sunny, cloudy, overcast, and windy days. It should be noted here that different fish species require different weather for fishing. Bottom-dwelling fish prefer cool weather, so cool days are good for fishing them. Mid-upper layer fish like warmth. The hotter the weather, the shallower the water layer they activity in, so sunny days are actually better for fishing them. On windy or rainy days, the fish layer will be deeper, making it less easy to catch them. Taking fishing for bottom-dwelling fish as an example, the basic steps are as follows. First, check the wind direction and find a fishing spot on the upwind side. Wind creates waves in the water, which increases the contact between the water and the air, thereby increasing dissolved oxygen. In the downwind area, the oxygen-rich water from the upper layer is also rolled to the bottom, so the dissolved oxygen there is even higher. Second, consider the time period. Since early morning and evening are the feeding times for fish, when choosing a fishing spot at these times, you should take foraging into account. Places rich in food or the paths leading to food-rich areas, that is, fish path terrains, are the best choices. If fishing during the day, big fish prefer to hide in cool areas, such as deep waters and shaded places. Shaded spots are mainly under bridges and tree canopies, which are the most comfortable places for anglers to fish in summer. After choosing the terrain, you also need to decide whether to fish in deep or shallow waters. Generally, the rule is that the food for bottom-dwelling fish is in shallow waters, and there is not enough food in deep waters. Therefore, don't fish in deep waters during the fish's feeding time, and don't fish in shallow waters during their resting time. 2. Rainy days. Rainy days are the best weather for fishing in summer. Because rain brings new water, which lowers the water temperature and increases dissolved oxygen in the water. Originally, fish could only enter the relatively hot shallow areas in the morning and evening, but on rainy days, they can enter shallow waters to forage throughout the day, so it is naturally much easier to catch fish. Fish grow very vigorously in summer, but due to the high water temperature and strong sunlight in shallow waters, fish can only forage in shallow waters in the early morning and dusk. On rainy days, the sunlight in shallow waters is not strong, which is also an important reason why fish forage near the shore on rainy days. Choosing fishing spots on rainy days is similar to fishing at night. Some fish path terrains are good choices, and food-rich places such as large bays are also good. On rainy days, don't fish in deep waters, just fish near the shore. If it is a heavy rain, fish are easy to catch after the water rises, and fishing in flooded areas is the simplest and most effective method. 3. High temperature and low pressure. In high temperature and low pressure conditions, the high water temperature reduces the dissolved oxygen in the water. Coupled with the low pressure weather, the dissolved oxygen becomes even more insufficient, so this is a weather where fish are prone to surface. In summer, there are several such weather conditions to pay attention to. First, foggy days, with high humidity and low pressure, the dissolved oxygen in the water is insufficient, and fish will surface. Second, before rain, muggy and sweltering weather with low pressure leads to severe oxygen deficiency in the water, and fish will still surface. Third, weather with west or southwest winds, the temperature is high and the day-night temperature difference is small, making nights feel hot. The water temperature will be very high, and even if the pressure is not low, there will be oxygen deficiency, so fish will still surface. Generally speaking, it is definitely difficult to catch fish when they surface, but there are exceptions to everything. There are some fishing spots that are not much affected by the weather, which are flowing water spots. Areas near inlets and outlets, sluices, and water pump stations, etc. The flowing water in still water, because its temperature is much lower and the dissolved oxygen is much higher than the surrounding area, becomes the most likely place to have big fish. When going out on rainy days, you don't need to consider the orientation or wind direction. The same applies to flowing water fishing spots. More attention should be paid to the terrain, not to factors such as depth, wind direction, orientation, or even time period. About the author, I am a fishing enthusiast and a self-media blogger who loves sharing. Follow me, and we can exchange fishing skills and discuss the little details of wild fishing together. Give a like, save, and follow to never miss future updates.